Good morning, students. We are studying chapter heredity and evolution. Until now, we have become familiar with the terms like what is heredity, what is a factor, what are genes, and what are responsible for the transmission of characters from parents to their offsprings. Then we talked about the Mendel's experiment that first of all he gave the laws which are known as laws of inheritance and law of independent assortment. Then we talked about the monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. And in all these topics, what we studied that there is something which is transferred from one generation to another generation. Now, Mendel was not knowing much more about the genes, and when Mendel performed these experiments, he said that there is something, and that something was named by him as factor. And he said that these factors they are responsible for transmission of traits from parents to their offsprings. Now, one thing is clear to you that heredity means transmission of traits and how this mechanism of heredity works. Now, as we know that cellular DNA, it is the information source for making proteins in the cell. You have to make this thing clear that whatever the traits or characteristics are produced in the body, that is because of the particular proteins. हमारी बॉडी की हाइट है, कलर है, शेप ऑफ द आई है, शेप ऑफ नोज है, वॉट एवर द ट्रेट्स आर देयर, these traits are decided by proteins. Now, from where, how these proteins are produced? So, these proteins they are produced by particular DNAs. Means those DNAs will have a particular information to produce a particular protein, and that protein will produce the particular characteristic in the body. Means what we can say that DNA, it is having information to produce a protein, and because of that protein a particular trait or character will be produced. Means for example, a DNA which has produced a protein for long height, then the trait will be the person will be tall. In the same way, if the DNA has produced a particular kind of protein which is responsible for the small height, then the trait will be dwarf, because वो उस तरह का प्रोटीन प्रोड्यूस नहीं हुआ. सो द हाइट ऑफ द प्लांट और द हाइट ऑफ द ऑर्गेनिज्म हैज बिकम dwarf. So what we have studied that DNA, it has some information, and this information is for particular protein, and this protein it will give rise to a particular characteristic. Now let us take the example of the tallness. Tallness is a characteristic or a trait. So now plants which grow tall in height means they have particular hormones in their body, and because of those hormones that plants have grown to a particular height. Now from where that hormone has come, या फिर किस तरह से वो हार्मोन जो है वो प्रोड्यूस हुआ, और इफ़ अ प्लांट इज टॉल, तो उस प्लांट के अंदर ऐसा हार्मोन क्यों बना जिससे उसकी हाइट टॉल हो गई. एंड इफ़ द प्लांट इज ड्वार्फ, तो उसके पास ऐसा हार्मोन क्यों आया कि हाइट ड्वार्फ हो गई. नाउ दीज हार्मोन्स मीन्स दीज आर प्रोटीन्स. नाउ you remember this thing. What are hormones? I have used this term hormones. In actual, hormones are proteins, and these proteins or hormones they are produced by DNA. So DNA is producing a particular hormone. Hormone is a protein, and this hormone is responsible for the production of a particular characteristic. So when we talk about the characteristic, that is height of the plant or the tallness of the plant, it means the height of the plant is because of the particular hormone. And this particular hormone, if it is produced in an efficient manner, means if it is produced in a particular way in sufficient amount, then the height of the plant will be tall. And if this hormone is not produced efficiently, then the height of the plant will be dwarf. Now, who will decide that these hormones will be produced efficiently or not? So, who will decide? DNA. In actual, DNA has particular genes. So, what those genes will do? They will produce the particular enzymes or particular hormones. If the gene for the enzyme has an alteration, that will make the enzyme less efficient. Means if जो डीएनए है, if the part of the DNA is not having efficient gene, then the enzyme will also be produced less efficient and the height of the plant will be dwarf. I think it is clear to you because our topic is how do these traits get expressed. मीन्स किस तरह से ये ट्रेट जो हैं वो किसी भी ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी के अंदर एक्सप्रेस होते हैं. एक्सप्रेस मीन्स विजिबल होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वन ट्रेट वी आर टॉकिंग इन दिस, that is height. How the height of the plant is expressed in that particular plant. So now it has become clear to you that height, it is decided by or determined by what? By an enzyme or hormone. और एंजाइम या हार्मोन इन एक्चुअल क्या है? प्रोटीन्स. एंड प्रोटीन्स कहाँ से किसने डिसाइड किए कि कौन से प्रोटीन्स प्रोड्यूस होंगे? डीएनए ने. मीन्स डीएनए हैज़ सम इंफॉर्मेशन जो कि क्या करता है, एक पर्टिकुलर हार्मोन कह लीजिए, एंजाइम कह लीजिए या प्रोटीन्स कह लीजिए, उन्हें प्रोड्यूस करता है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इज प्रोड्यूस्ड इन दैट ऑर्गेनिज्म. नाउ इफ वी टॉक अबाउट this experiment, then we have come across that both the parents equally participate in the production of young ones. Now if we talk about the traits, और अगर हम traits की भी बात करते हैं, then also we can say that both the parents are equally contributing. किसके लिए? For the production of a particular trait or particular characteristic. So now this question comes that if both the parents can help to determine the trait, then both parents must be contributing. I think this point is clear to you कि दोनों ही parents किसी भी young one में characteristic लाने के लिए responsible है. Because what we see in our surroundings also, that a child from a family can be very similar to its mother or it can be very similar to his father. So अब उसके पास जो है, और कई बार हम क्या देखते हैं, द चाइल्ड हैज़ सम ऑफ द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ मदर एंड सम ऑफ द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ फादर. मीन्स both the parents have equally contributed, and because the equal contribution is there, so what might be happening, that each parent must be contributing a copy of the same gene. एक कॉपी जो है उसे अपनी मदर से मिल रही होगी एंड वन फ्रॉम हिज फादर. एंड इट मीन्स जो पी प्लांट है, इफ़ वी टॉक अबाउट द हाइट ऑफ द पी प्लांट एंड वी टॉक्ड दैट कैपिटल टी and other one is small t, it is father and it is mother. Now see, when the gametes are produced, what will happen? Meiosis will take place, and during fertilization one copy from parent mother and one copy from father, then it forms capital T small t. Now what we are talking, that each parent is equally contributing in production of a particular trait, and for that let us take an example. Suppose it is a parent, which is having genetic composition as capital T, and it is male plant. Other one is female plant and it is having genetic composition this. Now what will happen? During gamete formation, the number of chromosomes will become half. I think it is clear to all of you. This is the male body. Now this body is having double number of chromosomes here. this is a female body, it is also having double number of chromosomes. Now what we have to keep in our mind, that whenever the gametes are formed, means whenever the anther, that is pollen grains, are formed and or the egg is formed, the number of chromosomes become half. As we are studying that the parents, one of the parent may have genetic composition TOT and the other may have the genetic composition small t. Now the gametes will be formed, and during gamete formation number of chromosomes become half. Now when the fertilization will take place, capital T and small t, fusion of it will take place. Now what it is showing, it is showing that both the parents, it is a male parent, it is a female parent, and now what we are able to see here, that both the parents are equally participating in the formation of the zygote, and this zygote, it will later develop into embryo. So what we have seen here, that one of the chromosome or one of the gene set is coming from male parent and one is coming from the female parent. So we can say that both the parents are equally participating in the formation of the zygote or embryo. Now if the set of the chromosome, out of the two chromosomes or out of the two genes, if one is coming from the male and the other is coming from the female, now this chromosome, it has many genes, and now as both the parents are equally participating in the formation of the embryo, so there is one set of chromosome present in the organism, and this is coming from one from the maternal parent and other from the paternal parent. Means one is coming from mother and the other one is coming from the father, and there is fusion in the zygote formation. And what is happening, this chromosome which derived from the mother and the other which is derived from the father, so in the zygote a set of chromosome is present. And now as we have seen that these chromosomes, they are inherited from parents to their offsprings, and the Mendel also have proved the law of inheritance, and which is telling about that how the characteristics are transmitted in the organisms, especially in the organisms which are producing by the sexual reproduction method. And now the next topic is sex determination. Before studying sex determination, what we have to study, that each organism has a particular set of chromosomes. For example, if we talk about human beings, then human beings have 46 chromosomes, means 23 pair of chromosomes are present in each cell of the human being. Now, out of these 46 chromosomes or out of these 23 pairs means 23 multiplied by 2 is equal to 46. So, out of these 23 pairs, one pair of chromosome is known as sex chromosome, and that pair determines whether the sex of the organism or the sex of the baby will be that will be a male child or it will be a female child. So one thing we have to learn here, that each organism has a particular set of chromosomes. If we talk about human beings, all human beings present on the earth surface have 46 chromosomes, means they have 23 pair of chromosomes, and out of these 23 pair of chromosomes, 22 pair of chromosomes are known as autosomes and one pair that is known as sex chromosome. Now हाउ इज़ द सेक्स डिटरमाइंड इन अ न्यू बॉर्न बेबी, यानी क्या चीज़ ऐसी है बॉडी के अंदर जो ये डिटरमाइन करती है कि दिस चाइल्ड विल बी अ मेल और अ फीमेल चाइल्ड. सी, जस्ट आई हैव सेड दैट देयर आर 46 chromosomes and one pair of chromosome is sex chromosome. So this XX or XY, this XX pair of chromosome, it is present in female body, and this XY, it is present in male body. Now means we can say 23 plus xx and 23 plus xy. These 23 pair of chromosomes, they are similar in male body also and in female body also. But this one pair of chromosome, it is different, as you are able to see that in female it is XX and in male it is XY. So as here we are not dealing with these 23 chromosomes. So for the simplicity, what we write, that XX chromosome, it is present in female, and XY chromosome, it is present in male. Now just we have talked that this is the female body and this is male body. Now, a body, when it produces the gametes or it produces the sex cells or it produces the sperm or the egg, then the number of chromosomes become half. Means make this thing clear that each cell of our body has 46 chromosomes. But the sperm or the egg, which are called as gametes, they have they have only half a number of chromosomes, means they do not have 46 chromosomes, they have 23 chromosomes. पेयर वर्ड हम यहाँ पर यूज नहीं करेंगे. Means what we can write, that it is a male body and it has XY chromosomes, and this is a female body, it has XX chromosomes. As I have told you earlier that human body has 46 chromosomes, or we can say 23 pair, and these oblique में हम लिख लेते हैं, and these are present in every cell. Now 46 chromosomes we can say, or 23 pair of chromosomes we can say. Now out of these 23 pair of chromosomes, 22 pair of chromosomes, they are same in male also and in female also. Now what we will talk about, only one pair is left, and this pair is different in male also and in female also. So whenever we write the genetic composition of a male, means a male has 23 plus xy, 22 plus xy, and a female has 22 plus xx. So what is happening, 22 plus xy, it is present in male, and 22 plus xx, it is present in female. And as this chapter, it is talking about the inheritance of traits, और जो ट्रेड्स हैं वो तभी ट्रांसफ़र होते हैं जब जीन्स ट्रांसफ़र होते हैं, यानी वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. सो वी विल नॉट टॉक अबाउट these chromosomes. We will only talk about XY and XX chromosome, because this one pair, it is known as sex chromosomes, and it is different in male and in female. XX, it is present in female, and XY, it is present in male. Now the question comes, how the sex is determined of a newborn baby. See, this is XX female, this is XY male. These are the parents. Now we have talked that the parents, when they produce the gametes, the number of chromosomes become half, as we talked in our monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. So the number of chromosomes have become half. यानी ये बॉडी है, बॉडी के पास दोनों ही क्रोमोसोम प्रेजेंट है, लेकिन जब बॉडी ने गैमेट्स बनाई, यानी फीमेल बॉडी है, फीमेल बॉडी ने जब एग्स प्रोड्यूस किए या फिर मेल बॉडी ने जब स्पर्म्स प्रोड्यूस किए, तो जो ये सेल्स हैं, दीज आर सेल्स. सो इन सेल्स वी कैन से एग और फीमेल गैमेटिक सेल, we can say sperm or male gametic cell. Now what we are seeing here, that the number of chromosome has become half. मीन्स यहाँ जो सेल थी उसके पास डबल एक्स था, लेकिन यहाँ जो सेल है इट हैज़ एक्स ओनली. इन द सेम वे यहाँ जो मेल बॉडी है, इट इज़ प्रोड्यूसिंग गैमेट, सो इट हैज़ एक्स एंड वाई क्रोमोसोम. नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन ड्यूरिंग फर्टिलाइजेशन, दिस इज एक्स एक्स और एक्स वाई. Now it is female body and it is a male body. So fertilization will take place. One of the male gamete will get fused with the female gamete. So X. What is the next possibility? This X may combine with this Y. Second possibility. Now what is the third possibility? This X may combine with this X. Third possibility. And the fourth possibility is that this can combine with this XY. Now see, what we are able to see here, that whenever XX composition is there, it is a female, and whenever XY composition is there, it is a male. So what we are able to see here, that there are the possibilities of two female and two male, and whenever we write them in the ratio, then it becomes simplified and the answer is 1:1. Means the sex of the child is determined by that which type of chromosome has transferred to its फॉर्मेशन, कि अगर एक्स ट्रांसफ़र हुआ फादर से और मदर से भी अगर एक्स ट्रांसफ़र हुआ, देन द सेक्स ऑफ द चाइल्ड विल बी अ फीमेल. बट इफ वाई इज ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम फादर एंड एक्स इज ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम मदर, देन द सेक्स ऑफ द चाइल्ड विल बी मेल, बिकॉज एक्स वाई जो है वो किसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है? मेल को. यानी यू हैव टू लर्न that a female has 22 plus XX chromosome, whereas a male has 22 plus XY chromosome. And when these XX fuses, female is formed, and when this X and this Y is fused, a male is formed. And in this way, the chromosomes, they determine the sex of the child. And which chromosome will get fused or which gene will get fused, it is a random process or a by chance process, and in this way the sex of the child is determined in human beings. Now we have studied that in human beings sex is determined by the type of chromosomes present in the egg or the sperm. Now if we talk about the other species, then some of the species use other methods to determine or other strategies to determine the sex of the young one. Some depends on the environmental cues. Means there are some organisms in which the temperature decides whether this will be a male or it will be a female. For example, in some animals, temperature at which egg is fertilized or are kept, then that is going to be a male or female. So means environmental conditions can change the sex of the organism. तो इन organisms के अंदर जो sex है that is not genetically determined, क्योंकि कौन determine कर रहा है उसके sex को? Environmental conditions. But when we talk about the human beings, in human beings sex is determined by the genetic composition, means which type of genes or chromosomes are present in egg or sperm, then the fusion takes place and then the embryo is formed. So it is the genetic determination of the sex of the child, and in some of the organisms environment plays the role for determining the sex of the organism. So this is all about our today's class. Thanks and have a nice day.